Is it appropriate for parents to be friends with their children? And I also want to ask you guys, are you friends with your children? Now, I'm making this video message because I'm not here to necessarily say that it's wrong or a crime for you to be friends with your child or your children. But I'm making this video message because we have to have a discussion about something. And the discussion is simply about boundaries being set with your children and your children understanding that boundaries have to be put in place between you and their relationship to always maintain a level of respect. This topic, I feel needs to be talked about because there are parents who are what you call friends with their children. And I want you guys to just hear me out. Now, most of you all are probably thinking, well, it's nothing wrong with being friends with my children because I am raising them or I raised them. As a mom, you may feel like, well, I gave birth to them. I'm the first friend that my children has. I'm one of the first people that my children have seen. Or as the father, you may feel that way as well. But I'm more so addressing the parents who are friends with their children and it's in an inappropriate manner. And let me just break that down for a minute. Some of you all as parents, you do with your children what your children do with their peers. And what I mean by that is, some of you as parents, you smoke weed with your children, you drink with your children. If you are a younger mother, meaning you might be in your early, maybe mid 40s or mid to late 30s, and you have a boyfriend, and your daughter is a teenager or a little bit up in age, and her boyfriend is at the house, and you bring in your boyfriend over, and you all are hanging out, and you go out with your children, and as a mother, you're in a lot of mess with your daughter and her friends, or you allow your daughter to get into your private personal life, and she's addressing, or your sons are doing this, they're addressing your mess with men or women who are in your life, or you're falling out with friends as the parent, and you are allowing your teenage children or your young adult children to approach your friends. And so in this video message, I just want to tell you all, as parents, you have to maintain a level of respect between yourself and your children, period, but especially in your relationship. Now, once our children become legal, meaning they are 21 years old and they are fully grown, I don't too much have anything to say about a parent making a choice to get high with their child or to drink with their child, because I know that there are different things going on. If your child is grown and they're up in age in their 20s and they live on their own and they have a barbecue or some type of an engagement at their home, and they are legal age and able to purchase alcohol and drink it, as the parent, and you go to visit them and hang out, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with you having a drink with your child. I'm more so talking about the parent or parents who are constantly drinking with their children, or they are going out to actual clubs and bars with their children. This is just something that I wanted to put on you all's mind because I am a parent myself. And what I observe and what I see is that there are some children who don't have a lot of respect for their parents because they begin to look at you as their equal when you do the things that they do with them, that they are already doing with their peers. Your children's circle of friends should never become your circle of friends, because over time, that level of respect or the way you are viewed by your child or your children, sorry to tell you, I truly don't believe that it's going to remain the same. I don't believe it's going to remain the same. If you're sitting in a club or a bar with your child and you're dancing with them, or you bring in your man to the club with them, or they have their boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're drinking with your child, and you're doing drugs with your child, or smoking weed with your child, in a lot of situations like that, it is not going to always be a high level of respect that your children have for you, because they are busy looking at you as their equal. And now we see children be very disrespectful to their parents. We see children mouthing off to their parents, and we see children just not really taking the parents' position as the parent seriously. And if you go down into that rabbit hole, you will find that for years that mom was hanging out with her daughter. You will find that that mother and father was doing drugs and drinking and smoking with that child. You will find that because the parent was busy trying to be friends with their child and lacking the discipline that was supposed to be given to their child and setting ground rules and boundaries, that child pretty much treats that parent like they are one of their peers. And so in this video message today, I just wanted to put this on a parent's mind. And that's why I asked you all, is it appropriate for a parent to be friends with their children? I know parents are close to their kids. You all talk to your kids. You ask them how their day is going. You ask them if they need anything. You ask them, are they okay? And in that sense, nothing is wrong with that. That's okay. And then there are some of you, your child is more of an introvert and they don't go out a lot, or you may be as the parent an introvert. And so your children like being up under you. I am not talking about that. I am literally talking about parents who you are concerned about if your son or daughter is angry at you. And so you lack having boundaries with your kids. You lack properly disciplining your children, and you allow your children to talk to you a certain type of way, and you allow your children to hang out with you as the parent with their circle of friends, or you're hanging out with your child and their circle of friends. That's what I am addressing, and that's what I am referring to. You cannot, as a parent, feel guilty because as a parent there were certain mistakes that you made, or you may have failed at some things. I've made mistakes as a parent. I have failed at certain things, being a mother to a son and a daughter. No parent out here is a picture of perfection. No parent out here is going to do every single thing right for their child. But above it all, you still should set boundaries so your children don't overstep the boundary and they begin to talk to you and treat you like you are their equal in that sense. And I know that some parents, they are more concerned about, is my kids mad at me? Are they gonna stop coming to visit? Are they gonna stop telling me certain things? And then you take a position like, okay, I should just be friends with them. Some children get upset when you set rules and when you set boundaries and when you punish them or you discipline them. And some parents become so weak and they fall under the heavy manipulation of their children to where they would just allow their child or their children to run amok because they want to be good with them as far as being cool with them. I've seen parents be so broken because their children are angry at them simply for setting a boundary, simply because they punished them because they got in trouble at school, simply because they checked or corrected them because they became disrespectful or they did not do something that the parent told them to do. And this is why, as a parent, you have to be strong enough. You cannot fall under the manipulation of your children. There were times in me raising and bringing up my children, there were a couple of lines that were crossed. And I had to sit my son and daughter down and let them know, hey, listen, when it comes to this particular thing, you're not going to be able to disrespect me or talk to me a particular type of way. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. We can be close. I love you. I let my kids know that I'm always going to have their back. But there are certain lines my children will never be able to cross with me. And if they are angry because of that, if they don't want anything to do with me and they want to live their life on their own terms, without my guidance and without my advice, I wash my hands of it and I back out of it. Because I would rather be respected by my children and received by my children than blatantly disrespected by my children or looked at like I'm one of their peers. And so that's why I'm making this video message. It's just to put some information on you guys' mind and just ask the question of, is it appropriate for a parent to be friends with their children? And I asked you all, are you friends with your children? There's a difference. Bonding with your kids, being aware of what your kids are involved in, knowing who your kids are in and out of your presence. I'm not referring to that. You should know that. But outside of that, some of you all have to stop crossing a line where you are friends with your kids, where you're drinking and drugging with your kids. You're going out with your kids. You're in your kids' mess with their friends, or you allow your children to be in mess and situations you have with your friends. Sorry. That's what my video message is. Just think about that, guys. Think about that. You can still be close to your kids. You can still have a bond with your children. You can still know things about your children. But that level of respect is still there because you know how to cut it off where it needs to be cut off. And if you are a parent where your child is disrespecting you and your child is treating you like you are one of their peers, now you have to go back and you have to look at how have you been interacting with your children that would make them comfortable to be at a level where they talk to you and treat you like you are one of their peers. That's the video message. Well, guys, I know it's a sad time for you, but it's time for me to go. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have been offended by anything I spoke about in this video message, I'm not worried about it because I know you will forgive me in the morning.